Have you ever had the feeling that someone was watching you, even when you couldn't see anyone there? Imagine walking alone at night, believing you're safe, without realizing that someone is right behind you. Tonight, I'm going to tell you the true story of a person who found out too late that she was being followed. And the worst part? This could happen to anyone. It could happen to you. It was just another Thursday night. Mariana, 24 years old, was on her way home from work as she usually did. She lived in a medium-sized city, considered safe, the kind of place where people believed nothing truly bad ever happened. Her walk home wasn't long, about 15 minutes, and she always took that time to listen to music in her headphones, scrolling on her phone and lost in her own thoughts. That night, the streets were quiet, lit only by scattered street lamps and the faint glow of store windows that had already closed. Everything seemed normal, ordinary, safe, but someone was already watching her. Across the street, a tall man walked slowly, his hood covering most of his face. He wasn't heading anywhere, he had no destination. His only purpose was to follow her. He kept his distance, far enough not to be noticed, but close enough never to lose sight of her. His steps were measured, calculated, and it was clear he knew how to hide in the shadows. Mariana, distracted by her phone and music, didn't notice when he began to follow. The first sign of danger came when she crossed the main avenue. On the other side, she pulled one earbud out for just a moment and thought she heard footsteps that didn't match her own. She froze, glancing over her shoulder, but the street looked empty. The silence was heavy, broken only by the faint hum of a distant car. She laughed nervously to herself, brushing it off as her imagination, and kept walking. But behind her, the man had stopped as well, completely still, watching, waiting, tracking her every move. She turned onto a narrower street now, lined with tall walls and old houses. That strange chill crept up the back of her neck again. Instinct, the body's silent warning that something isn't right. She walked faster. The footsteps behind her matched her pace. Her heart started to race, her hands grew sweaty, and the idea that she wasn't alone became impossible to ignore. Then in the reflection of a store window, she saw it, a shadow moving right behind her. It wasn't her imagination anymore. Someone was really following her. Trying not to panic, Mariana chose to walk faster, but not to run. She wanted to reach her apartment as quickly as possible, but she knew if she sprinted, it would only confirm her fear. The problem was, the faster she walked, the closer he seemed to get. The sound of footsteps echoed louder, closer and heavier. One block away from home, panic took over. She broke into a run. The man ran too. There was no longer any doubt. He was after her. Out of sheer desperation, Mariana spotted a small 24-hour pharmacy on the corner and darted inside. She tried to look calm, pretending to browse through shelves, but her heavy breathing and trembling hands gave her away. Across the street, on the other side of the glass doors, the man stopped. He didn't come in. He just stood there, motionless, watching. His presence was heavy, suffocating, as if he knew she couldn't stay inside forever. His hood covered his face, but his stare cut through the distance, a stare she would never forget. The store clerk noticed her pale face and asked if she was okay. Mariana lowered her voice, almost whispering, "There's a man outside following me." The clerk immediately picked up the phone and called the police. Minutes felt like hours. Mariana's eyes stayed locked on the glass doors, watching his silhouette. But before the patrol car arrived, the man simply disappeared, gone, as if he had melted into the darkness. No one saw which way he went. No camera caught his face. No one ever knew who he was. The police arrived and escorted Mariana safely home. But the fear never left. For weeks after that night, she swore she could feel eyes on her back. She heard footsteps behind her even in daylight. Paranoia became her constant companion. She stopped using headphones, never looked at her phone while walking, and changed her routines completely. But that feeling, that someone might still be out there watching never went away. Stories like this remind us that danger can be much closer than we think. Sometimes someone is already watching you and you have no idea. And this kind of stalking, it isn't rare. Across the world, people report chilling encounters. Some end in nothing more than a scare, but others end in tragedy. Have you ever felt something like this? If you've ever been followed, share your story in the comments. It might appear in a future episode here on Echoes of Fear. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss our next terrifying story. Mariana's case wasn't unique. Similar stories keep happening everywhere. Students followed after leaving school. Women watched by strange neighbors. People hunted after meeting someone on a dating app. Even ride-share drivers who turned into predators. The terrifying truth is that many victims don't realize what is happening until it's too late. According to public safety data, reports of stalking and harassment are rising every year, especially in big cities, but also in small towns, where people think they're safe. No place is completely safe anymore. So what can we learn from this? If you ever feel that you're being followed, don't go straight home. Doing that only reveals your address to the person behind you. Instead, head toward well-lit public areas. Enter stores, restaurants, gas stations, anywhere with people inside. Ask for help. Trust your instincts, because if something feels wrong, it probably is. Survivors of stalking often say their intuition was the first alarm bell. Ignoring it could be fatal. That night, Mariana survived, but she was never the same. Every time she walks down the street, she glances behind her. She avoids being alone, and the fear remains. The hooded man was never identified. Nobody knows who he was. Nobody knows where he went. Maybe he's still out there, watching, waiting, looking for his next victim. And the scariest thought of all, maybe someone is being followed right now, at this very moment, without even noticing. And have you ever felt someone's eyes on you? Have you ever heard footsteps behind you when you thought you were alone? Have you ever changed your route just because of a feeling you couldn't explain? Share your experience in the comments. Your story could be featured here. Like this video to support our work and share it with someone who needs to be aware. This was another episode of Echoes of Fear. See you in the next fear.